Hello YouTubers, today we've got the PS3 back. Now I have a fan control switch. I did a video before of how to fix these, but obviously, especially with the earlier PlayStations, that they do have a problem with overheating. So I found this switch online and we basically can fit the switch and control the fan so it should never overheat. This fan is from Circuit Surgeon. I'll put a link in the description down below. You can get it off eBay. It's a reasonable price, not bad at all. You get, obviously, you get the actual switch control. You get a little sticker that allows you to drill the holes, the little template, and you can actually buy the little knobs that fit over the top just to give it a bit more of a rubbery feel. You can buy them all from the same guy. To be fair, I have to say it does look very well made. Everything's heat shrinked, all the connections look proper. It's not just kind of bungled together. It is actually a nice quality unit, and like I said, not a bad price. So it's definitely worth buying something like this for your PS3, and you shouldn't have any problems with it at all. Simple to fix, or to fit in, should I say, very simple. And yeah, so we're going to crack on with fitting this and see how good it is. Let's hope it is good. It should be. It looks it. Let's go. Alright, so let's get cracking on with this. There's little, I hope you'll be able to see this, little cover here you take off, and it releases the bolt. The bolt is a T10 torque. As you can see, the top cover then comes off. So as you can see, the top cover comes off. Some people drill a load of holes and stuff in here, and yeah, you can do it, but there's no real need to, I don't think. Not on this part. I might drill some holes actually on the bottom, which will help draw the air in. But especially with the fan control, I mean, it's going to really stop all this. Basically, you've got a line of bolts or line of screws all the way along the edge. Obviously they need to come off. Just normal Phillips this time. Now what you want to do is, when you get all the screws off, is lift it towards you. So have the front facing where the CD drive or CD Blu-ray player is, and literally lift the front towards you, because there's little clips right on the front of this. Let's get that out. There's a few little clips right on the front here, and you don't want them to snap off. So you just roll that towards you. Let's take this last screw out. Now, hopefully it shows up on camera. There's a couple of little clips, and you can easily snap them off if you just try and lift it straight up. Now, we're to the actual guts of the PS3. Some PS3s, this is one of the first ones with the card reader in, you can actually get to the fan more or less now, but on this one, the fan control is underneath the actual circuit board, so it's right at the bottom. So we have to take all this off to actually get to that. It's simple enough. Couple of screws here again. This takes off the card reader. Now with all these ribbon cables, they're all the same way of taking off. There's like a little black clip that holds it down. Just get your fingernail, flip up the clip, and the ribbon cable will just slide out. So they're very simple. Next thing we need to take off is the Wi-Fi. Now there's a couple ways of doing this. In my other video I take off the actual antenna at the back. There's just a screw there, but there is also a little clip there there's a little clip on the board, but what I would just take off the one at the back. Keep everything all together. It's only an extra screw. You have to take it off more or less anyway, so these are doing it now rather than leaving them separate pieces. And again, we have a ribbon cable. Lift up the black clip. The ribbon cable slides out. Simple. Ah. That's out of our way. Next thing you can do is take off the actual Blu-ray player. Now the screws that hold down the top plate actually hold this down. So you just got, it literally comes up. There's a couple of connections, one at the front. Little connection at the front that you just pop off, and a ribbon cable at the back. Same thing again, just lift up the black clip and slide it out. Alright, comes out. Now, power supply. Unscrew it. Pull out the wire at the back. It's kind of in my way now, so I'll do it now. Just press down the little clip and it just slides straight out. It allows me to get to this bolt or screw at the back. And there's just a cable at the front as well. Again, just pull it straight out. This will lift straight up. And we move that to the side. Now really, we're down to the main board now. Take off the actual on and off button, which is right at the front. Two screws, one extra board, two screws, the hose, to pull down the plastic. These get all forward. Again, another ribbon cable, pull the clip, slide it out, and then fizzle out. Now, what we need to do is take out the hard drive now. So, you can do this at the beginning, but it doesn't really matter when you do it, as long as you do it before you take out the board. Blue screw, Phillips, very simple, screw it out. Little like handle here, lift it up, slide it towards you and pop it straight out. That's your hard drive. Very easy to upgrade them. Now, basically what we want to do is take out all the screws that are around the edge and pop out the whole unit from the plastic bottom. Now, we shouldn't need to take the earth off this time, the little earth cable here. Now what we need to do is lift up the whole board, get your fingers in the front and the actual plastic at the back. All this plastic here, lift it up as one, and that's how it comes out, nice and easy. So it comes out as one unit. All you're left with is the actual plastic bottom. Now as you can see, we're just left with the actual metal, the back where the actual power supply is, the bottom, the fan, and this is what we need. So this is literally plug and play. So all we need to do, it's obvious, is pull out the actual wire for the fan, connect this in its place, and on the other side of this, as you can see, we have another little connection where the fan goes into, which basically bypasses the fan and it allows this switch to work. It's very simple. Just pull it up. As you can see, can only go one way. You've like a little pins, well not pin, but a little kind of nipple sticking out of the connection. Just zoom in, maybe we can get it. You just see that. So it can only, you can't get it wrong because it won't go in the wrong way. You can't get it wrong because it just won't go in the wrong way. So you can only go one way. And you shouldn't, again, you don't need to force these. Just clips in nice and easy. This end then clips into the actual board, the motherboard of the PS3. Again, you can only put them one way. You can't go wrong. Now, that is it fitted. Simple as that. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky. Well, not tricky, but this is where you need to think about it now. But this is where you have to think about it now. Because this one obviously has the fan control, so this needs to be outside the PS3 somewhere. So it means you can turn it, you know, as fast or as slow as you want, whenever you want. A few ways of doing it. You can literally drill a hole somewhere and leave this, which it is designed to. It's got a little screw here. So it's designed to screw onto the outside of the case. This will be permanently fitted and you can screw it faster and slower. Or you can have it just put a little hole in the side of the case and have this whole thing just like left on the side. But the problem with that is it can get damaged very easily. What I plan to do with it, hopefully it's going to work on this particular one. Because this PS3 has the original is the original one and it has the card reader, I have the slot here that opens and closes at the front, as we can see, opens and closes. And I would love to put the switch in here so when you close it you can't see it, when you open it the switch is right there, nice and easy for you to use. So that's where I'm going to put it. Hopefully we've got enough room for this to completely close down properly. And the reason I'm going to do that is because then if you put it on the side or the back, well not so much the back but especially the side, it can be knocked off. You put it on the back near the power supply, at least the power supply is going in from the back, so you've got something sticking out the back a few inches. But I want to put it on the front where it's nice and easy. I don't have to keep moving the PS3 to get it in and out. It's just going to be right next to me. So that's what I plan to do. But before we actually put it back, we've now got to decide, are we going to bother drilling holes in here or not? The problem is if you do it, it's going to have to be done nice and neat, because otherwise it's going to look horrible. I was thinking about doing it, but I'm kind of changing my mind now. I'm just going to leave it because with the fan on, it should, with the fan control, we should be okay. But what I was going to do is I was going to drill the hole out as the PS3 sign, and it's very simple. Download the PS3 sign from the internet, get your size right, print it on a piece of paper, stick it, and I was just going to drill holes to make the PS3 sign. Because if you just drill holes willy-nilly and if they're not dead straight and stuff, it'll look horrible. So you're as well off leaving it. That's what I was going to do, but I don't think we really need it, to be honest. So I'm just going to put it back. Now, one thing we do need to do first though is we need to get this wire out the way nice and neat, so it's not going to cause us any problems. And what I'm going to do is just wedge it nice and neat there where it can't cause any problems. Now, as we can see, it's nice and neat in there. I haven't bent these wires or anything. You haven't bent the wires, but I haven't forced it in anywhere. It's just nice and neat. It's out the way. We shouldn't have a problem. So let's get this back. Again, same way, you just want to put it nice and even down, because otherwise it won't fit down. So my wires out the front. Make sure. See, now my wire is out the front, but it's still nice and loose. It's not trapped under anything. Make sure it's not near the hole for the screw, because you could put the screw straight down into it, which obviously means nothing's going to work then. So yeah, you want to make sure that's out the way, nice and free. Other thing you want to make sure is this plastic is seated at the bottom properly. The actual plastic goes inside the plastic clip at the back goes inside the case. So now it's down, everything's free, the wire's free so we're not in any way, and now we can literally start putting the power supply and everything back. Simple, isn't it? Now the first thing we want to do is obviously put the screws back around the actual board that holds the motherboard onto the actual bottom of the PS3. Again, you can't really go wrong. There's arrows to show you where the screws go, and just to let you know, it's always best anyway when you take something apart to keep the screws with that particular item. But there's only two types of screws in the PS3. You've got a rough thread and a fine thread. All the rough threads are designed to go across the board, and all the fine threads are to basically bolt everything to it. So it is very simple. You don't need to over tighten these either. Just a nice firm pinch. Like I said, this one's very important. You don't catch the wire, so you want to make sure when you put that down, the wire is still nice and free. You haven't caught it, because you can easily put a screw through there and it could blow up your board. So it's really important. Now we've done that, I'm going to put the power supply in next. There's two pins sticking out the board which marry up to the power supply. Now you want to be careful that these pins are nice and level and you don't force this power supply down. Just keep it nice and level and it should literally fall into place. You don't want to be forcing this down. Screw it down then. Back, put the little cable in. Again, it can only go one way. Nice and easy, just push it in. On any of these, you shouldn't be forcing anything down. Everything is just nice and an easy fit. I always seem to do that. These two screws don't go here because I have to actually put the on and off switch there. So I always forget to do that. One of these is actually for the power supply. So there. Anyway, so it's just put the front pin in. Make sure the wires are behind all the clips here so they're not going to get caught in anywhere. This one's a bit more tricky, but again it just goes in. Okay, we'll put it in first, then put the wires back. So clip it in and then put the wires back. So make sure the wires are out of the way. Now we'll put in the boards next. The actual Wi-Fi board and the card reader. So what we do is, now this has a little step in it, so it has to actually about a 45-degree angle. I'll show you that. It's like a 45-degree angle, and then slide it down. Then it'll fit nice and easy in that square. Lift up the ribbon cable. Now these are a bit tricky. So lift up the black little clip. Make sure the ribbon cable goes in nice and straight. That is important. They're a bit fiddly, these. It's nice and flat. Make sure it goes in, and then the clip just pushes down. Simple as that. So down. There it gets. Inside back. So down. Make sure this wire's out of the way. It's nice and neat. It's not going to get caught in anything. Then we're going to put the card reader on. Same way. Obviously first we need to put the ribbon cable on. So again, slide the ribbon cable in nice and straight, push the black cable down, do that again, hear a little click, it's down, sorted. And we can fit that. Now the key with these things is just to make sure you don't force anything. Nothing has to be forced. But this basically is where I plan to put this switch. So I'm just going to put it in behind that card. And I'm hoping I can put this switch, I don't know, somewhere like that. That's what I'm hoping. So it's out the way. You can still put your cards in. Oh, I can see that. This is where I'm hoping to put the switch. So it's out the way. You can still put your cards in, but the little cover will hopefully still fit down. I don't know if it will yet. I'm hoping it will. And that is out the way, and it's so easy to get to. That's where I'm going to put it. But you can obviously put it anywhere you want, really. It's kind of, the decision is yours. So what I want to do next is put the card reader in. Sorry, the Blu-ray player on. Now on this one, the actual black clip is broke. So it still works. You have to push the ribbon cable in first and then set the black clip over. It's a bit fiddly. I'll try and show as much as I can, but it's very difficult to do this and to film at the same time. So all I'm doing is putting the ribbon cable in first, holding it there, and then literally slotting this black clip in on top of it and pushing it down. Now, as you can see, that's in and it works. This then, like I said, there's no bolt. Well, there's 3 bolts that hold this down, but it's the top cover that actually hold it down. So you just want to get it in the right sort of place, sure everything's okay, and put the clip in then. Again, you can't really go wrong. The clip can only go in one way. So that's basically it. What I'm going to do before I put the top cover in is just test this to make sure I've got everything right, to make sure it's in properly and it works before I do any further. So I'm just going to put the on and off button and the eject button on. Slide the ribbon cable and push it down. Now we can plug this in and try it, but obviously you're going to be very careful. You've got a very powerful power supply here. You don't want to be prodding anything. All I'm doing is connecting the power supply in the back, and I'm just going to make sure this switch, make sure it's working. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm just going to, once it's working, then I'm going to put it back together, obviously. So we'll try that next. Right, I have it plugged in. You want to make sure it's obviously the switch is off at the back, and then we'll power it up. But like I said, we're going to have to be very careful here because we can get ourselves into trouble. So just be very careful when you're doing this. Right, it switches on. Well, so the red light comes on. You can see that on camera. There we go. The red light comes on, so that's obviously a good sign. So what we now need to do is literally power it on by just pressing the little thing down. Now we're powered on. This should now work. And as we can hear, I don't know if you can hear that, but that fan is kicked in, and I can dial it down. Now apparently with this thing as well, you can't turn the fan down lower than, so if the fan needs say 20% of it running, you can't turn it down, so you can't overheat this system. So you can't turn it down too much basically, but obviously you can turn it up. Now it's up to you how far you want to go, because obviously that's full blast and that's obviously very loud, so that might kind of get in your way of playing the game. So it depends on how you want, really. I reckon 50% can't be too far off, and if you're feeling it getting a bit hot, well then you can always just crank her up a bit. And to be fair to this switch now and everything, now I can obviously see it working. It does feel like, you know, the switch is nice. It's this nice quality. From the looks of things, he hasn't used really cheap components, which is obviously good. It's it feels nice. Like I said, everything's heat shrink. It feels a nice component. So yeah, I'm going to put the top cover on now. I'm going to drill the hole first with a little template he's given us. With this little template here, so I'll show you how I'm drilling that. It even gives you the size of the holes, which is brilliant. And this is actually even a little sticker, so you can actually put this sticker over the area you're going to drill the hole and just literally drill through them holes. I mean, that is fantastic. I really do like that. That saves so much guesswork. There's nothing worse than trying to drill a hole, because you have to drill 2 holes with this, and basically getting them in the wrong place and drilling another hole, because it's going to look horrible. I've just put the little knob over the top of it. You can buy all these in different colours. I'll put the link down. They're both from the same guy, but they're just on different pages in eBay. And this is a little knob then. It just fits straight over the top, and it just gives you a bit nicer feel. So that is brilliant. I mean, that fan really is blowing out some air now. Like I said, I don't think you'd have it on 100% all the time, because it is bloody noisy, but hey, look, I mean, that's brilliant. So let's get cracking with the next thing now. Now this is the top cover, and just to let everyone know, I'm in no ways like biased to this guy. I had to pay for that switch, so it's not as if I got it free and I'm trying to big him up or anything like that. So you know, it's nothing like that. I basically had to pay for it. I'm just giving my honest opinion. It does feel good. If anything happens to it in the next couple of weeks, I'll obviously let you know, but to be fair, it does feel good. But anyway, now, so this is the front cover, and what I plan to do, I really want to do, is get this switch inside here so I can put the cover down. Now I'm hoping I've got enough room to actually close this. I might not, it might be slightly open, which isn't a big deal as such. Now you could even drill a bigger hole at the top and allow the knob to stick out, and you can lift it in and out, so that, and then you can even twist it once it's you don't have to lift this up. But what you do have to be aware of when you're putting it in, if you've got one of these, is you need to leave enough room to put your cards in. If you've got any cards, you know, SD cards or anything like that, you need to leave enough room so the cards will physically fit. And you've got also remember, you've got a couple of clips and everything at the back, so you're going to have to make sure it goes in a place where it will physically fit. Now to be fair, it kind of looks like I've only really got I haven't really got a lot of choice, to be honest, exactly where I put it. I can only either put it there or there. So I'm going to put it this side and hope that I've got enough room. I'm going to put the sticker in from this side. Now it is best to, when you're drilling, whichever side you're drilling from, that's where you get the neat hole. So if you want a neat hole, you're going to have to drill from this side. The only problem is drilling from this side is you can't line it up 100% properly. But I reckon it looks like I'm going to have to put it, oh, let me see that. It looks like I'm going to have to put the switch kind of there. Yeah, I have no other choice really, and I've just got to hope it works, because I want it in behind this case. I hope I've got enough room at the bottom. Like I said, this might not fit 100%. If it doesn't, I can drill a nice kind of big hole here, so when it comes down, the actual knob sticks up through, which won't look too bad, to be fair, and then you know, you can adjust it from there. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to pull off this sticker now and stick it down. I really do like this sticker. I think it's a fantastic idea. Now I just want to get it nice and level. Now, as we can see, that's the sticker, and I'm just hoping I'm going to be alright. We'll soon find out. I'm going to go down and drill that now. There's no point me showing you that, but just let you know, one of the holes is 7.5 millimeters, and the other hole is 3 millimeters. So that's the size of the drill bits you need: 3 millimeter drill bit and a 7.5 mil. Drill straight in the middle there, can't go wrong. Now I've done that. Like I said, you want to drill from the top, because obviously, as you can see, the underneath, it kind of does a little bit of damage when it pops through. So you want the nice clean edge on top, or whatever you happen to be drilling off. I'm going to move the actual sticker now. Now I have to say, I know I may be banging on about this sticker, but I really do like it. There's so many things I've done in the past and you don't get a little template, and it makes your life so difficult. Now, hopefully you can see that on camera. There's two little holes. There's a big hole and a little hole. And yeah, that's basically it. So let's see if it now fits and see what happened as regards it fitting and the cover fitting down. Now you need to do, take off the actual little screw, or not little bolt should I say, take off the little bolt. And the 3 millimeter hole is for this little nipple here that's sticking out. So again, this switch can only go in one way as well. So slide it up through, and make sure that's in. Right, we're in. Hope you can see that. I'm just going to screw this down by hand for the minute, just to get it in place. Now, I don't know, that hole doesn't seem big enough, unless there's a bit of crap just stuck in it. So I'm just going to take that back down. Oh yeah, there's just a bit of stuff caught in the little hole, so make sure it's clean. Now, start again. Hope this is coming across on camera. It's a bit tight where I'm doing it. Perfect. Now, that's the first part done. Now, as we can see, unfortunately, the thing doesn't completely fit down, which I thought might be the case. Not the end of the world. There's a bit of adjustment on the switch, which you can slide it down a bit. So let's just do that now. But again, it's not going to fit down, and once I put the actual rubber thing, it's going to be even higher again. But I don't particularly mind that too much. I can still get my cards in, which is the most important thing. So what I can actually do is I can just drill a big hole the size of that, or just a little bit bigger, and it'll allow that to lift up through. Or you can just leave it like that, to be honest. It's not really a big deal that it's just not particularly closing. That's just up to yourself, really, how you want to do that, and that's just personal preference. But what I'm more concerned about, let's get that back in there. What I'm more concerned about at the minute is, does this fit? Have I got enough room to fit this switch at the front? Will the case go down? That's what I'm more worried about, because obviously if we go to the front, I'm stuck with this board here. So do I have enough room for it to clear? That's what I'm more concerned about. There's a hole here and hopefully it lines up. I've done it as best I can, as I can see, for it to line up with this hole here. So this is kind of really where it gets in. Now this is the important bit. This is my switch here, and this is the gap between my board, the Wi-Fi board. So yeah, that's what I had to make sure I lined up. Like I said, that is obviously quite important. Now you stick it out the back, it doesn't really matter, but where I'm sticking it, that's what makes the problem. So anyway, I put the top 90 degrees towards the board, put them little clips in I showed you, and now I've got to roll the top over the top all the way on it, and here we go to see if it fits down. Yeah. As we can see, it does. It fits. This here is nice. Well, I've just got to clip it down, but you know, nice all the way across the top. Obviously, we know that doesn't close. But like I said, you can either leave it or drill the hole. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. It's always a thing you can leave till a lot later time. Do you know? So yeah, it fits in. I'm happy with that. I'm going to screw this top down now. Obviously power up again, double check it. But I think that's it. Now to stick in the hard drive, just literally put it down, have a little handle up, slide it across. Once you slide it, you'll see the hole lining up. Get the blue Phillips screw, slot it in, screw it down, put the clip down, and just bang it on. So now, YouTubers, we're sorted. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with this, whether I'm going to leave it or whether I'm going to do something with it. So I'm going to leave that for the minute. So yeah, all I'm going to do now is obviously plug it back in just to make sure that everything's working, make sure the on and off button's working, the eject button's working, obviously make sure the fan's still working. So we'll do that now. So it's plugged in, powered off. I'm going to power it on. We have our red lights, which is obviously a good sign. I'm going to switch it on. It switches on. Obviously our fan was obviously already twisted. So there we go. Right, so we're good. Does the eject button work? Yeah, eject button works. So look, that's it. It's as simple as that. This will stop obviously all the overheating problems of a PS3, and it is fairly simple. Well, it is very simple, to be fair. There's nothing to it. I've seen when I was buying, or when I was looking to buy a kit, the fan switch. I saw a few where you can get some with a little pot and you have to leave it inside the PS3 and you adjust it. I don't like them because you have to keep cracking it open and adjusting it. You know, it's not great unless you leave the thing hanging out the side. But if you leave it hanging out the side on a bit of wire, it can easily get broken or caught. I personally think these adjustable knobs is the only way to go, personally. But obviously it's entirely up to yourself. And just be aware, if you do bring it out the sides of the PS3. Just make sure nothing's going to hit against it, because it's just going to break very easily. Do you know? Because obviously it's sticking out. You pull the PS3 out, you're going to break something. So yeah. Look, hope it helps. Thumbs up the video and subscribe. Like I said, I'm going to put the link down to everything where I got this from. And yeah, hope it helps. Now YouTubers, I decided what I wanted to do with the front panel. I drilled a hole first and didn't particularly like it. It looked very boring. So what I decided to do is just extend the hole with some kind of wiggly lines. And as you look at the front of it, it just looks, I think, a lot better than just having a hole in it. So that's it. Look, I hope the video helps. Thumbs up and subscribe, and don't forget, get your hands dirty. See you for the next one.